When a celebrity dies, we tend to take comfort in their greatest moments on screen. But what happens when those moments ring eerily true to reality? Is it still comforting when life imitates art? Rob Knox was a young teenage actor from London who saw his dream come true when he was cast in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. He played a 7th-year Hogwarts student named Marcus Belby, a role he was meant to exist in the next installments. The Potter film was supposed to launch his career. However, in 2008, just 5 months before the film was released, the 18-year-old was tragically stabbed to death outside a London bar while defending his brother during a scuffle. While the role of Marcus Belby was entirely benign, Knox also appeared in a popular long-running UK television series called The Bill, which is centered around police combating street crime in East London. Knife crimes are just one glaring example of violence that the youth in the UK continue to face, with the BBC even referring to it as a pandemic. Knox's death has helped to shed light on this issue. In November 2021, an anti-knife crime documentary titled Knox was released, detailing his story. Producer Kula Anastasi said of the documentary, "This film pays homage to a young man whose legacy has shone a light on knife crime, and his fame in the Harry Potter movie has created a unique vehicle to draw attention to the soul-destroying impact crimes of this nature have on so many lives." In June 2020, the news of Naya Rivera's tragic death left the world in shock. The Glee star disappeared after visiting Lake Piru with her 4-year-old son, Josie. After 5 days of searches, her body was found, and Rivera was pronounced dead at age 33 from accidental drowning. Following the shocking news, fans took to social media to share highlights of her illustrious career and pay tribute to their favorite Glee cast member. One video in particular left people stunned. In Season 5 of Glee, Rivera's character, Santana Lopez, gave an emotional performance of the band Perry's If I Die Young. This tearful rendition was done in tribute to co-star Correa-McMullen after his untimely passing in 2013. In an eerie coincidence, Rivera's body was discovered on the 7-year anniversary of Monty's death. Fans were quick to notice a particularly chilling section of the song in which Rivera sings the lyrics, "Sink me in the river at dawn." This heartbreaking connection was too much for fans, with many of them asking people to stop sharing clips of it. Brandon Lee was only 8 years old when his father Bruce Lee died unexpectedly. After his unexpected death, Brandon always felt like his family was cursed and believed each member of the family would have a short life. His girlfriend revealed in an article for Medium that he predicted he would die, quote, "younger than my dad did." Brandon's prediction unfortunately came true, as he was accidentally killed on a film set at the age of 28. In 1993, on the final days of shooting The Crow, he was shot and killed after a prop mix-up left part of a real bullet in the gun. After his death, people found eerie similarities between Brandon Lee and the part he played in the film. Brandon, like his character, was about to be married just days after tragedy struck. And, just like his character, he was killed by a gunshot wound to the abdomen. Even more chilling, people pointed out the similarities to his father's last film, entitled Game of Death. Because Bruce Lee died of a freak legal painkiller reaction while shooting the movie, the ending of the film had to be changed. Bruce's character in the film is shot on a movie set after an assassin swaps out prop guns with real guns. Bruce's character doesn't die, however. Instead, he comes back to life via another actor and seeks vengeance. In the 2007 film Freedom Writers, Armand Jones plays the role of high schooler Grant Rice, a young teen from Long Beach struggling to find his way out of a neighborhood filled with gun violence and crime. In one scene, Erin, the English teacher played by Oscar winner Hilary Swank, tries to connect with the struggles of her students. She asks them to stand in front of the classroom and step on a line if they know anyone who has died at the hands of gang violence. Later on in the film, Jones' character is caught in the crosshairs of a gang shootout, and in real life, his untimely death sadly mirrored his role. On the last day of filming Freedom Writers, Jones made his way to the celebratory wrap party with some friends. He was then robbed and brutally killed outside a Denny's restaurant. A gang member was later convicted of killing Jones, who was just 18 years old at the time of his murder. The Hollywood heartthrob James Dean was just 24 years old when he died in a car accident. After starring in East of Eden, Dean quickly became known as Hollywood's handsome bad boy, effortlessly bringing the symbol of cool masculinity to the big screen. Today, he is especially well known for his roles in films released after his death. In Rebel Without a Cause and Giant, Dean plays an outcast, struggling to find purpose and chasing something more, even if it means dancing with danger. In real life, Dean encouraged people to be a bit more cautious. In fact, just 13 days before his tragic death, he appeared in an interview promoting the film Rebel Without a Cause, in which he warned others about driving safely. When the interviewer asked if he had any advice for young people wanting to drive, Dean urged responsibility.
Take it easy driving. The life you might save might be mine.
Only somewhat contradicting himself, he also mentioned his love for racing.
I don't have the urge to speed on the highway. People say racing is dangerous, but I'll take my chances on the track.
Just days later, on his way to a racing competition, Dean was involved in a deadly collision with another car. It is widely known that he was also ticketed for speeding hours before his death. Josh Ryan Evans is a recognizable face for many soap opera fans. On the long-running NBC soap, Passions, he played the memorable role of Timmy, a doll that transforms into a real-life person with the help of a powerful witch. This fun scene-stealing role won him 2 consecutive Soap Opera Digest Awards. He also brought cheer to the silver screen as the young version of the iconic Grinch in 2000's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. As an adult, the actor was 3 feet 2 inches tall and diagnosed with a growth disorder. In 2002, he tragically died in the midst of a medical procedure at the young age of 20. Eerily, he passed away the same day that the Passions episode featuring his character's death premiered. After his passing, NBC released a statement honoring the late actor, saying, "He was a truly unique talent with a remarkable spirit. He will be sorely missed by his Passions family and by all of us at NBC." Judith Barsi was a child star discovered at the age of 5. She skyrocketed to stardom from the instant she hit La La Land, acting in over 72 commercials, before making a successful transition to film. The Los Angeles Times even estimated that the young star was earning $100,000 a year at the height of her career. However, as she began her dream career in Hollywood, her life behind the scenes became a nightmare. Barsi endured a terrifying life at home due to an abusive and alcoholic father. He not only threatened Barsi's life, but was repeatedly violent toward her mother, leading her, on one occasion, to call the authorities. Anytime Barsi was away from home, the young girl complained about returning to her home environment. According to the LA Times, she told her friends, "I'm afraid to go home. My daddy is miserable. My daddy is drunk every day, and I know he wants to kill my mother." Tragically, her fears came true. When she was 10, Barsi's father brutally murdered her and her mother before turning the gun on himself. Her final role before her death was in the animated movie All Dogs Go to Heaven, in which she voiced the character of Anne-Marie, a child who lost both her parents and finds her new family amidst a pair of equally lonely stray dogs.
I love you.
Yeah. I love you too.
The film was released a year and a half after her death. Tara Correa-McMullen was just like any other 15-year-old until she randomly stumbled her way into Hollywood. After moving there with her mother, she landed a dream role in the 2005 Martin Lawrence film Rebound. In 2004, she also secured a part in the primetime Emmy-nominated TV show Judging Amy. Her character, Graciela, is a young girl in a gang struggling with peer pressure. In the show, the juvenile court judge takes a special interest in Graciela and helps her get her life back on track.
What do you dream your life looks like when you're my age?
It don't matter what I dream, because either way, I'm gonna be dead.
However, in real life, Correa-McMullen would find herself struggling with the same dangers, only without a guardian angel judge watching out for her. Unbeknownst to her mother, the new apartment they shared was in a location that was with the territory of dangerous gangs. As Correa-McMullen's role on the show grew and evolved, she did as well. She began dating a man 10 years older than she was, a man with a prison record and ties to a gang. Correa-McMullen's mother witnessed her daughter's life begin to spiral, and there was only so much she could do to stop it. On Judging Amy, Graciela is sent to prison after a drive-by shooting leaves an innocent person dead, and her time in prison ends when she is tragically murdered by a rival gang. Unfortunately, Correa-McMullen faced a similarly tragic fate. A few months after the episode aired, Correa-McMullen was shot several times while at her boyfriend's apartment. In what police called a gang-related hit, she later died from her wounds at the hospital at the young age of 16. If you or anyone you know is struggling with addiction issues, help is available. Visit the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration website or contact SAMHSA's National Helpline at 1-800-662-HELP 4357.